I guess this morning needs no introduction. Danny Haar, columnist and associate editor with Hearst, Connecticut Media. Danny, thanks for being here at the Capitol this morning.
Great to be here. A nice windy day.
All right, Danny, let's dive right into the governor's race and the issue of campaign cash. You've been poring over the campaign finance reports for Lamont and Bob Stefanowski. What jumped out at you?
Well, what jumps out is, aside from a couple of quirky things, like that the governor spent $1,500 on the parade marching of the Hartford Proud Drum and Drill Corps. I wonder what that was about. Did he give him $1,500 worth of T-shirts, or did they? You know, we got to look into that. But in the big picture, the governor raised very little money, under $300,000. Nor does he care about that. Bob Stefanowski raised just about $500,000, 620 or so if you include the money that Laura Devlin raised, Representative Devlin. And so that looks like a lot of money, and he made a big deal of 2,300 people, $600,000. It's not enough. Because remember, in October of 2018, Bob Stefanowski ran out of money. He had to spend a lot of time on the phone that was valuable time in the fall that he needed to be out and around. He doesn't want to see that. We obviously know that Governor Lamont has a bottomless pit of money. Now, maybe Bob Stefanowski made so much money in these 4 years of consulting with whomever that he has enough to continue to put it in. But it is a loan and not a grant. On the spending side, we saw the governor putting in $5 million in spending, including on the air, as you guys have been talking about. Game theory here. Does that mean he thinks he's behind and needs to catch up? Not behind, but does that mean he thinks that his lead is smaller than is comfortable? Right, that's a lot of questions out there.
Danny, speaking of fundraisers, a major fundraiser of CT Truth PAC, Republican Bob Kelsey, had a fundraiser for Bob back in June. Isn't that a little too close to coordination between campaign and candidate and Super PAC?
Yes, Bob Kelsey paid $750,000 to launch the fundraising for the PAC. He's not an officer of the PAC. Here's the problem. The PAC can't coordinate with the campaign. The campaign, by having a fundraiser at his house, to me, that qualifies as coordination. So we now must believe that the guy funding the PAC by $750,000, by the way, along with Thomas McInerney, who backed up Sitnick in 2018, is not coordinating with that PAC. And we have no reason to believe that is happening. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but it certainly raises questions. My colleague Julia Bergman brought that up in a story this week.
All right, Danny, so finally and quickly, we're going to get into the treasurer's campaign in our next block, but one candidate for treasurer spent campaign cash on cookies.
I was there. I didn't get a cookie. I'm all upset. Maybe that's why I wrote the column. No, $4,700. These were handmade cookies by Catalina's Bakery, a young woman that Eric Russell knows. Eric Russell. The bottom line is, if you give a consumable, that's the conventional wisdom is don't do it. Don't give something that's going to be gone. I think it was a good ploy because people were hungry. They couldn't get food at the Xfinity Theater. Timing is everything. Timing is everything.
And Danny, we're going to talk about Dita Bhargava in our next block, but there's no love lost between her and Eric Russell.
Yeah, apparently they had a conversation between them that I just heard about this week where one of them called the other and said, knock it off, and they are not knocking it off. And so this is really a more fun race than I think people are paying attention. You know, we all here on Capitol Report are paying a lot of attention to it. I wish the rest of the state were. And, you know, maybe if we step it up, they'll step it up and we'll get a little bit of voter activity because it's a hell of an interesting campaign.
Well, we're going to step it up in about 30 seconds. The great Danny Haar, Hearst Media. Thanks for joining us, Danny.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Next up on Capitol Report, we're going to take a closer look at one of the most eye-opening ads from the election cycle thus far. This is an interesting topic. Find out what's going on when we get back. Don't go away.